Welcome back, everyone. I'm Robert.
I'm Yudee. Welcome to Eastland English.
This is our English Proficiency Exam Tutorial, Sentence Completion, Part 5.
Choose the best answer to complete the sentence. Number 1.
Due to the restrictions regarding social gatherings prompted by the recent pandemic, we will likely have to change the way we meet blank. A.
Of the future.
B.
From now on.
C.
Until now.
D.
Before then.
The answers are all regarding time, so we're looking for a time clue. What time clue do we have in the second part of the sentence?
Look at the word will. It refers to the future.
Yes, will refers to the future. Now, let's look at the answers and see what our choices are. Pretend this arrow is time. Somewhere in the arrow is now. Let's put an X on now to make it clearer. Anything before now will be to the left of the X. Anything after now will be to the right of the X. Let's look at C first, until now. The word until means up to, and therefore it means anything in the past up to now. We can cross C off. Next, let's look at D, before then. In this sentence, then can only refer to a time in the past because of the original adverbial phrase, due to the restrictions regarding social gatherings prompted, and that means this happened in the past. So before then, cross it off. We're left with two choices, A and B. Both of them refer to the future, so both of them could be possible. However, A, of the future, describes a quality of something from the future. What we're looking for is a phrase that means in the future. A will not work. B, from now on, means in the future. Here is now, that's our X, from now on, and on means on or onward, in the future.
The correct answer should be
due to the restrictions regarding social gatherings prompted by the recent pandemic, we will likely have to change the way we meet from now on.
Number 2.
Edward has no money to his name, nor blank any assets.
A.
Does he have?
B.
He has.
C.
Does he has?
D.
He does not have.
Before we look for the correct answer for this one, I would like to know what to his name means.
Good question. To his name is an idiomatic phrase that means that he owns. We usually add it for emphasis. Edward has no money, really. Let's look for a clue in the sentence that will help us with the words in the blank. Is there any clue that you see here, Yudee?
I noticed the word nor.
The word nor is a coordinating conjunction. There are 7 coordinating conjunctions, and we use them to make compound sentences. The clue is nor has a comma before it, so this must be a compound sentence. Here is a formula that I have written for you that can help you remember what a compound sentence looks like. If you want further information about compound sentences, we have released a video called Compound Sentence Structure. I highly recommend that you watch that to improve your ability to write and recognize compound sentences. In this formula, the heart represents fanboys. Fanboys is an acronym that can help you remember what the 7 coordinating conjunctions are. Nor is the only one that's a little bit different. With all other coordinating conjunctions, this is the structure that you will use. However, for nor, the structure changes a little bit. When we use nor in a compound sentence, we're looking for a question formation after, even though it's not a question. Yudee, what choices here could you eliminate?
Based on the structure, I would cross out B and D because you can see it starts with subject and then verb.
Excellent observation, Yudee, because B and D both begin with the subject, as you said. They are not question format. A and C are left. Both of them are question formation, but C has does, he, has. For question formation, when we change the helping verb does for he, she, it, present simple, we do not need to change the verb. A is the correct answer.
The full sentence for this question is:
Edward has no money to his name, nor does he have any assets.
Number 3.
Before blank, the matter at hand, I suggest that we order some lunch to be delivered here. A.
Return of.
B.
Returning to.
C.
Return to.
D.
Returning of.
Yudee, what's the key word that will help us here?
You can see the word before.
Before will function either as a subordinating conjunction or the beginning of an adverbial phrase. A subordinating conjunction would introduce a complex sentence. After a subordinating conjunction, there should be a subject, but A through D, all of the answers have no subject. What should come after before?
It should be a noun or a gerund.
Correct. It should be a noun or a gerund, so we can eliminate A and C right away. Both A and C have verb 1 form, or the present simple form of the verb. You cannot use it without a subject. If you had she or he or they, some kind of subject, then you may be able to use a verb 1 form. However, there is no subject. We have only before and then the blank. We are therefore looking for a gerund. We have two choices of gerund, B and D, and the correct preposition in collocation with returning is returning to. We can therefore eliminate D and choose B. Returning to.
The full sentence for this question is:
Before returning to the matter at hand, I suggest that we order some lunch to be delivered here.
Number 4.
If you were asked a question that you feel is too personal in your interview, what blank? A.
Will you say?
B.
Would you say?
C.
Did you say?
D.
Say you.
Our first keyword in sentence 4 is the word if. The subordinating conjunction if implies that this sentence is a complex sentence and it is one of the conditionals. Our next goal is to determine what kind of conditional it is. How do we determine what kind of conditional it is?
First, you have to look for the verb tense. In this case, you will see the word were.
Yes, were is the key verb for the verb tense. This is passive voice, so you'll see another part of the verb after. This is verb 3. For passive voice, you always have some form of the verb be plus verb 3. But the verb tense or the verb aspect will always be in the verb be. This is the past tense of the verb be. This tells us this is a second conditional sentence.
The obvious choices that you can cross out for this question are A and D.
For those of you who might have chosen A in this question, even though A implies the future, it's not parallel in this sentence. The choice C, did you say, is past tense, but it means that you have done it in the past. What did you say means you said something in the past. Second conditionals imply improbable possibilities. And this sentence, as we have determined before, is a second conditional, so we need the helping verb would. So C, did you say, even though this is verb 2, it cannot go with a second conditional sentence. What we're looking for is B.
The correct sentence for this one should be:
If you were asked a question that you feel is too personal in your interview, what would you say?
Number 5.
Blank is a top priority for all nurses and doctors as the spread of disease is more likely to happen in hospitals than it is elsewhere.
A.
Person hygiene.
B.
Person's hygiene.
C.
Personal hygiene.
D.
A person hygiene. It isn't actually important for you to understand all of this sentence in order for you to answer this question correctly. Top priority means it's the number one care. Hygiene is a word that means cleanliness. The only difference between all of these choices is the word or words before the word hygiene. Hygiene is a noun. What are we most likely to look for before a noun, Yudee?
Probably some form of adjective.
You're absolutely correct. We need some form of adjective. Is person an adjective?
No, person is a noun.
Good. Person is a noun, and this two-word noun combination is not a compound noun. D is similar. We have a person. That is a noun, and again, person and hygiene do not make a compound noun. We're left with persons and personal. However, person is made into an adjective only with this apostrophe here. And if you have this apostrophe, it makes this into an adjective. However, we're missing a. For example, a person's hygiene could possibly be correct, but we don't have the article. We're left with only C. Personal is the adjective that goes with hygiene.
The correct answer for number 5 is
personal hygiene is a top priority for all nurses and doctors, as the spread of disease is more likely to happen in hospitals than it is elsewhere.
Number 6.
The prosecution attorneys are prepared to offer the suspect a good deal, blank, his cooperation. A.
To exchange with.
B.
In exchange for.
C.
Exchanging.
D.
Or exchanging with.
Sentence number 6 is taken from a crime drama on TV. This is a common idea in most crime dramas. Prosecution attorneys are the lawyers that work for the government that try to put suspects in jail. Suspects are people who are being accused of a crime. Suspect can also be a verb, but here it is a noun. Next, a good deal. This is a noun. We have an indirect object and an object to this sentence, so we don't need another noun. Therefore, we need some kind of prepositional phrase here, and two of them are not prepositional phrases.
So we can cross out C and D.
Yes, we can. We're left with only A and B. A, to exchange with, can be used when you're replacing something with something else. But we are not replacing something with something else. We're exchanging two things. So let's delete A. We're left with the correct prepositional phrase when you're swapping one thing for another. B, in exchange for.
The full sentence for this one is
the prosecution attorneys are prepared to offer the suspect a good deal in exchange for his cooperation.
Number 7.
The bid from their direct competitors was the best option, blank, at the time. A.
Off tabling.
B.
In table off.
C.
For the tabled.
D.
On the table.
If you have seen our first sentence completion tutorial video, you will know that table can be used as a verb, but here we're using a different idiomatic phrase with the word table as a noun. Is there anyone we can delete right away?
I guess C.
Yes, we can delete C right away. Why?
Because tabled has D.
Good guess. Tabled here has a D on it, which means it's either an adjective or a verb form. For B, you see in table of, but table is missing an article. There's no the. And table, as a singular countable noun, would require some form of article. So we can delete B as well. Of could go with a verb ing form. However, we simply don't use it. To get to your final answer between A and D, it may be difficult, but it has to do with usage of English. You're going to have to familiarize yourself with the use of English. On the table means being offered. So the correct answer is D, on the table.
The full sentence for this one is
the bid from their direct competitors was the best option on the table at the time.
Number 8.
This team needs someone, blank, in the field of nuclear physics. A.
Of expert.
B.
Who is experienced.
C.
That is expertly.
D.
With expertise.
We're looking for a keyword here now to help us solve this blank. What keyword can we use?
Someone.
Someone. The word before the blank is a pronoun. After this pronoun could either be a form of relative clause or a prepositional phrase describing what this person is like or who it is. Are there any options here that you see you could delete right away?
I think we can cross out be because is a verb be, and then you see the word experience is a noun.
Absolutely correct. Who could be the beginning of a relative clause. If you have who and then the verb be, as Yudee said, this would require an adjective. It's not, it's a noun. So we can cross that one off. Next, let's look at C. That is expertly. Again, C could be the beginning of a relative clause. That is, an expert might work, or who is an expert might work. But we have is expertly an adverb. Similar to our last question, we're left with two prepositional phrases. One of them works, one of them doesn't. A simply does not make sense, and we don't use it. Once again, you have to familiarize yourself with the use of English in order to acquire this knowledge. With expertise means someone who has expert knowledge or expert skills. The correct answer is D, with expertise.
This full sentence should be:
This team needs someone with expertise in the field of nuclear physics.
Number 9.
Pencils and pens have similarities and differences, and there are pros and cons to using blank. A.
Either one.
B.
Both of them.
C.
Neither one.
D.
Neither of them.
You'll notice that Yudee pronounced this word here either, and this word here neither. If you want to pronounce it either and neither, that's fine as well. Americans and British use both pronunciations, so you're fine using either or either or neither or neither. Let's now look at the sentence. We have pencils and pens have similarities and differences, and there are pros and cons. What does pros and cons mean?
The phrase means advantages and disadvantages.
Correct. We have several different pronouns available to us. We have either, both, or neither. There are two choices that you can delete right away, neither one and neither of them, because neither means not one. You can't have pros and cons to nothing. We're left with two choices, either one or both of them. Either means any one at that time, whereas both means two together. Have you ever tried to use pencils and pens both together at the same time? I don't think so. So let's delete B. We're left with either one.
The correct sentence for number 9 should be:
Pencils and pens have similarities and differences, and there are pros and cons to using either one.
Number 10.
In the early morning and just before sunset, sunlight is affected by the atmosphere, creating an effect blank, the golden hour by photographers. A.
Known of.
B.
That is knowing.
C.
That is known for.
D.
Known as.
Our first keyword is the noun effect. There's a second critical keyword in this sentence. Yudee, what is that?
The word by.
Good. The word by implies something. What does it imply?
Passive voice.
It does. Passive voice. So therefore, we are going to look for some form of passive voice in the blank. Because of that, there are two options that we can delete right away.
I guess choice B, because you see no has ing at the end.
Good. You'll see, as Yudee said, ing is not a passive form. Even though is could possibly indicate passive, the ing form of the verb indicates present continuous. Let's look at C next. C, that is known, would be correct except for the for. After for should be some kind of verb ing. For example, that is known for causing the golden hour. So we can delete C as well. Finally, we're looking at two reduced clauses. That is missing from both of these. You can do that with some relative pronouns. What we have done is deleted that is, and it becomes a reduced relative clause. The last thing we're left with is which preposition is correct. And as means equals. Of means from something. Therefore, known of is incorrect. Known as means equals, is correct. D. Known as.
Number 10 should be.
In the early morning and just before sunset, sunlight is affected by the atmosphere, creating an effect known as the golden hour by photographers.
Thanks for watching. Please like and comment below our videos.
We would really love to hear from you. And if you'd like to be notified of our new videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the bell. Bye-bye.
See you next time.